It's definitely easier to do this with the meat being a little frozen. I mean, you don't have to have them completely frozen. You can always buy them fresh and just shove them in the freezer for, you know, maybe like 45 minutes or so. Let them get a little frozen so that way they're more hard rather than soft, and you know, the knife goes through them a little easier, and it makes it easier to get the more precise thin cuts, you know, like this. You can go thinner than that too. It's just where I want it. So I got all my beef short rib cut up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and marinate this. I'm using this for tacos. If you've never done it before, short rib tacos are amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a marinade, and I am actually gonna let it sit in the fridge in a Ziploc bag with the marinade overnight. And I'll be cooking them tomorrow, so that flavor penetrates them really deep. And you don't really have to do that. You can actually just start cooking these, throw them on the pan, you know, throw the seasonings in while you're going with it. It's up to you. It's just how I like to do it. So I mixed up a few spices in here, some lemon juice, squeezed the fresh lemon and some Worcestershire sauce. There's cumin in here, some granulated onion, some garlic powder, some chili powder, a little bit of turmeric. You can do this however you want. This is just kind of what I was feeling today. Usually when I'm making something like this, I would make like a chimichurri, you know, some cilantro, some poblano pepper of your choice, you know, jalapeno, serrano, whatever you prefer, some garlic, blend that up real good, maybe throw a tomatillo in there, blend that up real good, and then pour that over the meat. And I've kind of used that as my marinade for the meat. But really, you could season it however you want. There's a little bit of cinnamon in here too. Whenever I'm doing beef tacos, sometimes I like throwing a little cinnamon in there. Not too much, like a very, very small amount. It gives it a nice little taste in the background. There's like a nice little hint of cinnamon in there. It's not very strong or overpowering. You just kind of notice it in the background a little bit. It's really good. So, you know, I'm just going to mix this up, throw it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight, and we'll cook it up tomorrow. But yeah, that's all. It's really simple. But definitely give this a try. Go get some short ribs, slice them up, make some tacos out of them. It's delicious. Alright, so I got the meat. I've let it sit overnight in this marinade. I got the pan over here, getting nice and hot. Once that oil is heated up nicely, I'm just going to go ahead and throw the meat in, cook that up, and we'll go from there. Alright, now that the oil is nice and hot, I'm just going to go ahead and throw the meat in. It smells amazing, by the way. Go ahead and grab some type of spatula, just separate that up. So you don't want to keep the heat too low. Beef short rib doesn't take a lot to cook. And you also don't want to keep the heat too low because you don't want the meat to start like getting gray or anything. You want to brown the meat real nice. So in the meantime, while this is doing its thing, I'm going to chop up some onions, or I might just slice them up. I guess we'll see. And maybe chop up a little jalapeno as well. And then I'm just going to throw that on top of here. Because even though they're good raw on the taco, I really like the result after they've kind of sauteed a little bit with the meat and gotten the flavor on them and everything. So I'm going to go do that right now. Alright, so I got half an onion. I'm going to go ahead and slice this up. Go ahead and remove the root. I would usually leave the root on if I was going to chop it, but right now it's just kind of going to be in my way. So you can make these slices as thick or as thin as you want. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to do this step. I just really like onions. Had a half a jalapeno left over from yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and use that as well. This is another thing that you can skip, or if you also want some type of pepper, maybe you don't want something spicy or you want to add a little color to the dish, you can go ahead and maybe use a bell pepper. So once I get these jalapenos all sliced up, they're pretty much just, this is all just going to sit on the side and wait until that meat is almost done, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it in. So that's all, there's not much to it. Sometimes when you're making a dish, the more simple you keep it, the better the outcome. So I'm not going to go overboard with what I add to this. That's all. So just some sliced up onions, some sliced up jalapenos, and then once that meat's almost done browning, I'll go ahead and add this on top, let it saute a little bit, pick up that flavor on these onions and jalapenos, and then that's it, we're all done. Warm up some tortillas and have some tacos. Alright, now that the meat's pretty much all done, I'm going to go ahead and add the onions on top, and I'm going to go ahead and throw the jalapenos on top of that as well. I'll mix that in a little bit, and then once I got that mixed in nicely, I'll go ahead and turn the stove down a little bit. Don't want anything to burn or anything like that. I just want these onions and jalapenos to soften up a bit and pick up the flavor from the meat. So that's pretty much it. It's really simple. Once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and warm up some tortillas. Got some guac going. You know, you can throw whatever toppings you want on there, just like this. This is really flavorful as it is, so you might not need anything on there. But it's all preference. You do things the way you like. I do things the way I like. And that's how it goes. So yeah, this is pretty simple. I'm just going to let this sit here for now. Go ahead and turn the stove down just a tad bit. And that's it. Not much more required. So we'll start assembling the tacos. So since we're making tacos, I gotta have some guac. So got some avocados in there. I don't like my avocados too mushed or anything. I like them kind of chunky. Throw some onions in there, some tomatoes, crush some garlic. peppers in there. You can use serrano, jalapeno, poblano, whatever you prefer. I'm using serranos today. They're a little bit spicier. And then lime juice, lemon juice, whatever you prefer. I ran out of fresh lemon, so I'm going to use lemon juice. I prefer lemon juice to lime juice in my guac. Give a couple capfuls. You can always add more. You can't take any out, so don't start with too much. Start with less. Taste as you go. 2 to 3 capfuls usually tends to be the magic number for me. Pinch of salt. Some cumin. Go ahead and grab a spoon or a fork. Mix it up. This doesn't take very long. Yes, I had everything prepped, but chopping up all those onions, tomatoes, the serrano, crushing the garlic, all that, it only took all of just 5 to 10 minutes at most. Homemade guac is so good, so much better than the store-bought stuff. And, you get to control what you put in there, how much of it you put in there. I like spicy, but you may not, and when you go to the store you don't gotta worry if the spicy guac is too spicy for you, or if the regular guac isn't spicy enough. You like a little bit more tomato, a little bit less tomato, onions, lemon, whatever. You put as much of everything as you like in there. So it's all mixed up, and that's it. I'm just gonna taste it, see if there's anything that I might want to add more of, and I'll go from there. So now I pretty much just need to warm up the tortillas, assemble the tacos, grab some chips, and enjoy. Alright guys, so here we have it. Beef short rib tacos. Went ahead and topped them off with some Chihuahua cheese, some radishes. Like I said, gonna keep it simple. Got some quesadillas and some chips over there for that fresh homemade guac. And this is it, guys. Really easy to cook at home. Way better than eating at a restaurant. And yes, I do usually like to use corn tortillas, but I am trying to keep things as low carb as possible. And these Mission Carb Balance tortillas only have 2 grams of net carbs. So, makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. Anyways, let me know what you think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments if you have any suggestions. Give this recipe a try, and come back and tell me what you think about it. Peace.